Greetings from Kansas City. This is Renee Benson at AV Renee KC, and you are listening to and watching the firing range on the AV Life.
This is Murphy Daly coming to you from Southern California. I'm a program manager and AV veteran, and you are joining us for the very special episode of All Firing Range in the AV Life.
Pew pew! This is Kim Frank at Kim Frank. So happy to be back here to join you while you are listening and watching the AV Life. Yay!
And I'm your host, Tim Van Wert. And yes, this is a very special episode of the AV Life. We are doing all firing range all the time here on this episode, and you are watching and listening to the AV Life. Kim, it is great to have you back. Thank you very much for coming back here. This is it's good to have you back. How you doing?
I'm great, and I missed your beautiful faces. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, we missed you. I'm trying not to tear up because we have missed you so much.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if fate
Yes, we
has anything
have.
to do with it, like that, the fact that you're coming back on the night that we're doing all firing ranges is just couldn't
Perfect.
be any more perfect. I mean, I don't know if Tim like planned that in his sleep or what, but this is just
I
awesome.
don't know if Tim knew I was coming back tonight.
I just planned it.
Yes.
So it just works out. You know?
You felt it.
Yes, I felt it in the force, as I'm sitting here with my Star Wars t-shirt on tonight. So, I'm
Wow.
channeling my inner Jedi and the pew pew. Yeah, so it's
So happy to see you guys.
so and Renee Murphy, as always, great to see the two of you as well. I don't want you to feel left out. I'd appreciate you two as well. It's always great
I want
having you
all the
two.
attention on Kim tonight because we have all missed a lot.
And we have three great guests with us tonight too to join in on the fun. I'm actually going to go to the one who has been here. It's been the longest since he's been here, and it's funny because like the three of them that are here tonight, like David, you're the longest with the gap since you've been here. So
Wow.
how you doing tonight, David?
Doing good. I think I've hit the 5 timers club. I think it's the fifth.
I think yes, you're
let's
getting
go.
you're getting
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I maybe I could get called out for going to the well too many times, for certain guests, but you know what? If it works, I'm gonna keep having you guys back. Like so, it's
They're all repeat offenders.
they are yes.
Yeah.
So well, they must be doing something right, or
Well, I always have a good time on the show,
Maybe.
though. It's always fun.
Yeah.
well, and you always have, and you're a great guest to have on here as well. So we it's great having you back, David. Aaron Peterson, welcome back again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this episode. It should be a good time.
I
It's
always
gonna
love
be,
having
yes.
Aaron on to help me represent the Midwest. I always love that.
Well, yeah, you're very Midwest heavy here between David and Aaron and yourself. Like, it's
That
Yeah,
doesn't happen
but-
very often, so I'm good with that tonight.
Right.
Tim.
but you know what though? I got another East Coaster here with me, Mr. Will DeWitt. How are you, Will?
Doing good. I'm here for the pew pew pew.
I'm the pew pew.
You came to the
Sorry.
right place.
Yeah, he's ready. Well, you know what? If you don't know what we're referring to,
Mhm.
I'm not going to say what it is, because you should go to our YouTube site, subscribe and follow and like the videos, turn on notifications, and you will see why we are laughing at Mr. Will DeWitt today. So it's for us to
You
know.
mean
right
besides
now.
the normal reasons?
Well, sorry, Will. They're
Tim, that's just his face.
oh,
Usually it's the intro. So hey, we're doing better today.
yeah, we're doing better.
Better.
Well, yeah, and I'm sorry I couldn't promote you to a crew member today again. So you have to
Oh,
stay in
boy.
the guest realm today.
Oh well, maybe one day.
Right, yeah, one day again we'll have you back up here with us. So yeah, so tonight is all firing range. So here's what's going to happen tonight to maintain our 45-minute episode, as we have been really trying our hardest to do. We're going to take the time right now. We're going to split into 2 teams, and yes, there's 7 of us, so it's not going to work out right, but that's what happens with the firing range sometimes. We're just an oddball. Well, we are oddballs, but anyway. So we're gonna divide it into 2 teams. We will keep those teams as we go through the 3 articles. We'll spend about 10 minutes on each article to give each team 5 minutes to make their arguments either for or against or whatever the side may be. And we'll go from there. So with the hopes that we'll finish this up in 45 minutes. And we'll see how it goes. And then this will be a regular monthly segment. So yes, Kim,
Oh,
this is going to
breaking
be a
news.
regular. Yeah, this
So exciting.
is so instead of, because what we found is, and I'll take the 2 minutes now. So what we found is that as we've been doing our regular episodes and things like that, and the discussions that come out of it, the firing range ends up being the thing that we go, all right, let's just dump that. And let's dump that. But we love doing the firing range. So we didn't want to just let it go. So we're giving the firing range the time it deserves. And we're going to do 3 articles. Maybe it'll be 2, but we'll see how tonight goes. It's a little bit of an experiment. So hopefully this will work out okay. Hashtag firing range, like hashtag AV in the AM there. Ooh, there you go. I like that. And actually, yeah, what we could do is we could actually open this up to everybody as well after we've had the episode. And then, yeah, if you have feedback one way or the other, we'd love to hear from you on that. I like it, Kim. That would be fun. We'll continue the conversation. So that would be, yeah, I like it. So, all right. So I now have 2 Davids on my screen. David, you left us, but yet you're still here.
Oh, there's 2 of me? Oh,
I see 2 of you right now.
Wow.
Can you hide one? I did one.
One
but-
is frozen.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's
I'm
in
having some weird
cryo.
technical difficulties.
All right,
here.
hold on. Let me see if I remove. Hopefully
Which
this
one
doesn't.
is the real David?
Remove
We have
the
even
frozen
teams now,
one.
though.
Oh wait, it says if I remove him,
which one disappears.
it says if I remove him, I don't want to kick him out though. So what if I put him in the waiting room?
Try that and see if I come back.
Okay, there you go. I put
All
you in the, okay. You're the other David is in the waiting room. So hopefully that'll.
Your clone is
that'll
put in the
work.
penalty box.
Yes.
Evil-
How
my evil
dare
twin.
you? Or maybe now this is the evil twin. I don't know.
How can you tell? No.
I don't know. Can't tell if you have a mustache or not.
He's got the beard thing going here. So, you know, okay. So we have 3 articles here. There's one about social media addiction and the rise of selfie deaths. There's one about a widow who says she never agreed to her husband's body being dissected by spectators at an autopsy show. And then we have FisherPrice, as Will already alluded to last week, with his little My First Tape player. FisherPrice has made a working chatter phone. So the old phone that you could pull along the floor, your first telephone, and it's a working Bluetooth phone. And they made it because we are all broken inside. And as adults, we do need this. So we're going to go in that order. So we'll save the FisherPrice for the end because that's a little lighthearted. Let's get the deaths and dissections out of the way. So, all right. So myself and Kim will be captains and we will pick teams, and I will hand over to ladies first, and I will let Kim take the first pick.
Awesome. I'm totally snagging Renee. You're mine, girl.
All right. And actually this is gonna help me. So I'm gonna move Renee over that way.
I'm gonna move you.
I'm
too.
good. All right. Well then I'm taking Murphy. So now that leaves our guests.
All right. David's mine.
There you got
Sorry,
David.
David.
All right. I'm gonna well, all right, you know what? I'm gonna take Aaron, and Will, you're gonna go to the other. I'm gonna not let all the Midwest people go on the same team. This was a strategic move, Will. So and I think we lost Aaron's video. I think
Oh,
we
yeah.
No,
I think
it was
I think we
frozen,
fixed-
and so I was trying to restart it. So
It-
it,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
Well,
frozen.
you're still there. Okay.
More
Yes,
than-
I'm still here. It was
just
just frozen,
is
so I'm trying to
The
restart.
dark
the video.
side. Don't give in to the dark side, Aaron.
no. All right. So me, Murphy, and Aaron with Kim, Will, Renee, and David. Although I think I just want to guess what I talked about earlier, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. I think we're gonna pray on this and make it work.
They
Oh
just
my
make it
God.
up, man. Don't worry.
Yeah, I wasn't just making it up. So okay. So Kim, I'm gonna leave it open to you. Since you were the one that found all these articles. I'll let you do the quick introduction on these articles, and hopefully our guests and everybody did always pick last. Aw, sorry, Will.
It's all
really,
good. I'm
you
just having
weren't-
fun with backgrounds right now.
Oh, you're taking the torch from me, Will. Oh, this is because that's what I used to do when I was with Corey. That was my job.
All right. So
Um,
the first article,
ahead.
can I just jump in? It's from a
Go ahead.
publication called El País in Espanol. And it is called The Rise of Selfie Deaths Leads Experts to Talk About a Public Health Problem. So apparently there has been an incredible spike, and we're talking about tens of people dying.
Tens.
Maybe 12s, dozens of people dying
Wow.
every year because of trying to take selfies in dangerous places across the world. The thing that I think brings this to light is really that these people are typically some kind of social media influencers, so it does get some press. However, they are trying to figure out, how do we deal with this growing public health problem of people accidentally falling off of cliffs, tops of buildings, falling off of like snow-laden mountains in their bikinis and dying. How do we combat this new threat to society?
Okay.
So
Hmm.
So all right. So then I guess the argument is: do we combat it,
or
or
do we just let
do we
them
just
die?
let it go?
That was going to be my comment. Is
Wow.
like,
Wow.
isn't this an issue
Well,
that'll just
hold
take
on.
care of itself?
Well, hold on
Oh,
to
we have
that.
to fight it
So,
out. We have to fight it out. I mean, fire it out. Fire.
yeah.
Oh.
So
Well, Tim, I chose teams, so you should choose a side.
all right. Well, I have to feel like I know where Aaron's going with this, so I'm gonna go with his lead on this, and we're gonna be going with let's do nothing.
So that's the Darwin Award side.
The Darwin Award side, yes. So
All right, well, we're gonna go with the flood the world with PSA's side.
okay.
my
Who
team.
all is on our team again? I got all messed up when Aaron went off.
So we
me,
are Renee, David, and Will.
Okay, I got to move screens again. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I'm better now.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
So all right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm setting a 5-minute timer, so you can go
Okay.
through your four people. So that means like a minute and 15 seconds each, and you can use it however you want to, and then we'll go from there, and then we'll take it from the other side. We're not gonna go back and forth. We'll just give you your time to make a 5-minute argument, and then we'll switch it the other way, so that way, you know, it works out like that. Someone leads off and someone doesn't. So,
Okay.
all right, that
Yep.
sound fair? Okay.
All right.
All right.
Who wants to
and
go first from Team Kim?
Go ahead.
David, go. You're
I'll go.
smiling.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll lead us off. Okay. So, as the resident millennial on today's podcast,
Ooh.
Ouch.
I'm going to start off with why it's a good idea. So, I am an avid hiker, and I will sometimes take selfies myself. And, you know, obviously these are extreme cases where people have gone out on a limb, literally, to take these selfies. But normally, I mean, you can take selfies in front of like, I did it once in front of in Arizona in like, you know, Sedona and like on the mountains and stuff in Montana. It's pretty easy to take a selfie and not fall over. So it's just a very select few that are ruining it for everyone else. It's normally a very safe practice. That's my pitch. That's it. Boom.
All right. Renee?
Okay. So as the resident old lady of the group, like I'm just a careful person. I'm just old and careful. I mean, I could break a hip if I do something wrong. So I'm always aware of my surroundings, and I'm like, okay, I don't want like a dish rag in my selfie. I try to be careful of the selfies. So if we all just took a minute and realize what your surroundings were. And we're so reckless. I love you, David, being a millennial, but the millennials are so reckless nowadays. Like, put your seatbelt on, look around when you're doing a selfie. That's just the rules. But like Kim announced, tens of people are dying. Selfie lives matter. Let's just be a little more careful. Easy enough.
All right. Will, you ready?
Yes. So the more you know, this is your brain on drugs. Isn't something that we need in this country right now? More things that will bring us together, more cultural touchstones. We're in an age of Netflix and Amazon, and everyone is watching and doing different things. Shouldn't we have something that everyone is forced to watch and have driven into their brains until it just resonates day after day after day? How are we going to pass on any sayings to our kids if we don't have repeated PSAs?
You're so right, Will. I agree with that 100%. So my argument is really that these social influencers, these people who are putting on bikinis at the top of snow-covered mountains are clearly the future leaders. These are the cream of the crop. These are the people who we're going to, lead our children to their future, and we have to protect them. I'm going to argue that we need to put guardrails on everything. Also, there should be no more digital cameras. We should go back to a Polaroid. You know how heavy those things were? You wouldn't climb out into a cliff with a Polaroid in your hands. No, you would be like, I'm going to stay here safe on the side, because those are heavy, and film was expensive. We didn't just take arbitrary pictures back in the day, because you had to go to that Kodak stand in the middle of a parking lot and show some stranger your pictures. You wouldn't do that in a bikini on the top of a snow-covered mountain. These people should know the world is not safe anymore. It's not safe, just not for influencers and people who die falling off of cliffs in bikinis. It is not safe for digital cameras. We should just outlaw all of them. Get rid of them.
Wow.
Go back to film. That's my pitch.
Go back to film.
Wow. All right.
Wow.
Well, and you still had a minute. You still had a minute to spare there. That
We don't need the minute. We will rein our time back.
Do we get extra points for that minute?
Killed it.
Wow.
Polaroid. Oh my God, that was awesome.
That was pretty good. Yeah. So, and I was just in the middle of writing, camera live, digital camera lives matter.
Like typing the tears. Hashtag I've missed Kim.
I know.
I'm so broken.
All right, I'm gonna start my timer over here. And all right, Aaron, I'm gonna let you lead off, because actually, you know what? No, I'm saving you for the anchor. Murphy, I want you to lead us off. That we should do nothing. We should do nothing with this. And go.
In this moment of time, we are experiencing a new kind of technology. And hello, are we AV people or what? This is V. And definitively, a selfie is not hurting anyone but yourself. So definitively, this is taking your own life into your hands, and maybe becoming more than you thought possible. Either they go off into death, or they achieve something. They leave a huge legacy, and maybe both. God, we're talking about a new art form. Isn't it true that when artists die, their art becomes so much more valuable? As long as it's backed up to the cloud, let them do this. This is great. This is everything that
well played.
That this is about. This is what our bleeding edge of technology is about.
There you go. All right. And yeah, this is about doing it for the gram, as they say.
Ooh.
You got to do it for the gram.
I'm kind of feeling like a coward. I take pictures of cats, but not cliff edges. Yeah.
Yep. But you know what? You want to go out there and put your neck on the line? Go ahead. Go do it. Do it.
My neck.
If you
Do it.
fall, it'll be a glorious fall, and I'm gonna let it
Mm.
happen
Okay.
because you
Hey,
led yourself to
Are
it.
you taking our time? Are we passing it on now? Are we
M-
your team captain? So was that my I gave
Oh,
my
oh yeah. I mean, if you're, I was
I think
going
I
with
did
it.
it. Okay.
I think you
Yeah.
did it.
Big old amen, but I don't want to lose our
Amen.
time, man.
No, we're good. We got 3 minutes
Okay,
now, so we're still
okay.
good.
Okay.
I
Okay,
plan on
good.
giving Aaron like a full 2 minutes, so it's okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Cede my time to you, Aaron. I think I made my
Dennis
point.
Leary said it about drugs, and he
Oh.
says it's not less drugs, more drugs, and you give the drugs to the right people. So in this case, so not more restrictions or stuff like that. Give them less restrictions. Let them do
So-
whatever the hell they want. If they want to go up to the top of a tower and get blown off the top of the tower, like the guy in the picture in the article, have at it.
I
You
think
know what?
I think you just made a really critical statement there, Tim. I said that this is an AV group and these selfies are V.
Yep.
And you said it's kind of a drug. According to Dennis Leary, you're making the connection.
Yes.
More drugs. Embrace
More
it.
Graham.
Yes. Okay.
And yeah, so and there goes my train of thought is gone now. Aaron, take it away.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that this is a problem that will resolve itself when people realize that so many people tens of people are falling to their deaths or are dying by doing other things that they shouldn't be doing in the first place. I mean, even Pokemon Go these days has a warning when you start it up that says, like, make sure you're not on private property while playing. And if you're going too fast, it's like, are you driving? Yes or no? You have to click like, I'm a passenger. Like, how many warnings do these apps need to make sure that their people are safe? It's starting to get ridiculous. And at some point, the Darwin Awards just need to keep getting awarded to everybody that is doing these stupid things. I mean, come on. It's a selfie. Yes, it looks really cool, but like, be careful, people. It just seems ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't see Instagram coming up with a warning going, hey, it looks like you're 20,000 feet above sea level. Do you really want to take this selfie right now?
It looks like you're about to jump out of a plane.
based on your GPS
Yes.
coordinates, we've noted you're at the top of the Empire State Building. Should you really
You're
be
falling? You're free falling
Yeah.
midair. Are you sure you want to take a selfie?
You're vertical. You've reached a vertical. What is
Mm.
that?
Terminal velocity.
Terminal velocity. Do you really want to send this post? Yes, before I splatter on the pavement. So
Our fact checkers have determined that you are in free fall.
all right. Well, then I think we're done.
Woo.
That got dark. It started to get dark.
I think this was easy.
That was fun.
That
Yeah.
was a fun one.
I want to make
So-
sure people know we're completely making this up on the fly.
Oh yeah. By the way,
it
so
is
yeah.
absurd, and no one actually believes any of these things.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. That's part of the allure of the firing range for those who are not, these.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're going to be taking pictures, please be safe and do the right thing.
We are not
Um,
encouraging people to
we are-
take Polaroids on a cliff.
If you're if you're going to do it for the gram, that's fine, but do it for the gram where you're safe.
So
if you-
a
Not
funny
tag the AV life in that picture.
a fun infocom.
Hashtag
AV Life made me do it.
Not if you die, not the 10 that are dying.
So
Speaking-
I was looking
Just
through
make
my
sure it's
Wait,
backed up to the cloud.
Eric,
I was looking
go-
through my infocom pictures when I got back, and I noticed I took a picture of a booth that clearly had a no camera symbol on the booth.
Yes.
Bravo.
Oops.
Revel.
Sorry.
Hashtag oopsie.
It's kind of the wrong place to have a no camera symbol.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Speaking of Instagram, one of my favorite things to do in Instagram, because I have a fairly boring life, is take pictures of other animals as I'm walking my dog. So there's lots of cats and things like that and other dogs. And I actually found a hawk in the middle of the road, in the suburban road, crouching over a kill. It had killed a pigeon or a dove or something. And it was like fluffing and challenging a car coming up.
that's Instagram worthy.
I got
No,
this.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I would like
Yeah.
that.
I know. And then I was like, "Ooh, cool." I got a bunch of pictures of it and a little bit of a video as I was kind of shuffling over this dead feather body. And then right as I was done, it actually took the body and flew away. I'm like, "Oh, I wish I got that video with it holding this carcass." And it was great.
But the key in the point of the story, Murphy, is don't turn around and take a selfie in the middle of the street when the trash truck is coming down the street, because you could be one of the 10s that might.
The 10s.
Well, that's how you call it.
The 10s.
I mean,
Murphy,
All right.
I challenge you to make a meme out of that we can post on the tweet storm.
which
There you
means-
go.
Of this.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
All right, awesome. I revitalized the tweet storm like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And man, are people mad at me.
Hey, but it was worth it. It was worth
Everybody
it for the,
went onto the Digital Signage Federation and voted against me for awakening the tweet
Oh, no.
storm.
that kind of went, that backfired on you.
Whoops.
Ugh.
At least
I
they
thought it
know
was
what they're
funny.
getting into. We still have
Um,
The Rock tagged in that tweet storm, I think, too.
Oh, is he still on there? It's like, damn it, what's with these AV people? Okay, so let's
So who
move on.
wins? Did we pick who won?
We didn't. You know what, yeah, I think I got to give it to you guys.
Yeah,
I don't give me
so, yeah.
don't get me wrong, like the Darwin side
Yeah.
of things, like
Nope, I
just
think that we took that one. It's fair is
Yeah.
fair.
so,
I,
all right.
in all honesty, we should do like an in all honesty. I don't think we should spend any money on this, is it? Despite the fact
Yeah.
that I was arguing we should.
No, that there should not be a penny spent on this. Like that word of mouth says that you should use common sense on this, but you know,
Don't fall off cliffs.
don't fall off cliffs. Yeah.
The
Falling
comment
is
is not the
bad.
common
You
name.
do wonder though, like were people falling off cliffs before with Polaroids and Kodak cameras and we just didn't
Oh,
know?
Definitely.
I'm sure it happened like
Media.
Grand Canyon. People walk too
Yeah.
close to the edge looking over.
Do you ever see like those
Don't
boards at the
push
Grand
me
Canyon of all
'cause
the people
I'm
who are
close
missing?
to the
Yeah.
edge.
There really are tons of people missing at the Grand Canyon. People go missing there all the time.
But they can't advertise that, or there would be no more tourists.
Right.
So you have to be careful.
Well,
I remember
Part of the
the,
secret tour.
I heard a thing from 2014,
Well-
posted in our chat, that where some guy got kicked in the head by an engineer, where it was the thing where people were taking selfies too close to a train. And this engineer runs down and not that he's trying to hurt the kid, but like there's some stuff sticking off and people were dying from getting too close. And like literally he just like kicks the kid out of the way so he doesn't die.
An old Western movie you just watched, or truth?
No, that's true. It's
I'm just
That's
kidding.
that's real life.
From an
Yeah,
old
that's really, like,
West
literally,
town.
there's a video of it.
All right, let's move on to the next article, and then if we have time at the end, we can go back and revisit and further discuss. So onto the widow and the autopsy show.
All right, so this article was from NBC News. This widow agreed with her husband that his body, he was 98 for the record, should be devoted to scientific research after he passed away. However, instead of scientific research, his body went to this group that was organizing pay to watch autopsy events. So people were paying $100 to $500 a seat to watch her husband get dissected. So she says she did not agree to that. That was not research. And she has a big issue with it, which really does bring to light this problem of if you donate your body or who has rights to your body and what constitutes research. So that's the next article.
All right, so. All right,
For the
so
record,
then-
also, Tim, about 70 people paid between $100 and $500 to watch your husband get dissected. Just
So all right, well, so
so
that's
tens of people watched this happen.
so really then I guess the question is it so there's actually two arguments to be made here. It's like, A, would you pay to go see this? And
wow.
and B, yes, I mean, when you're donating your body to science, is this what you're expecting? Like, I mean, is
Well,
that
I
where-
do remember a few years ago, there was an article where the military was blowing up actual carcasses that have been donated for research. So I think maybe it's the latter, although the former is very fun. But maybe it's the latter. Like maybe they should have a checkbox list of here are the things I approve of my body being used for versus not.
Yeah, I
To
think
me, while I was reading this sounded more like almost an entertainment type event, not necessarily like, even though the final organization that got the body said it was for research, it just felt like
The
too
research
much of
how
a
much people
almost
would pay.
they were basically selling tickets to this thing like an entertainment deal. That's what it felt like to me. But it just the body went through so many different parties and not many people like really did their due diligence in asking like what the next company was really going to do with it. But yeah, this is very, very interesting article, I thought.
Just to
Yeah.
empower.
I think maybe the argument to be made here is what's the worst part of the story?
Just to empower the conversation, on average, if the ticket was $250 a person, people paid $17,500 to watch this guy get picked apart by a doctor.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I mean,
just to put it into context.
and okay, so yeah, I feel like we could almost like just tear this one apart individually on this. Like, boom. Pick by pick.
Ooh.
Oh, pick it clean to the bone. Oh no! All right, I'm gonna stop.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna stop.
So maybe we should
Renee's
just debate
giving-
about whether you personally would go pay money to see this happen.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where we're
I like
gonna
it.
dissolve. We're gonna temporarily dissolve the teams on this. We're just gonna kind of go for it. So yeah, all right. So I have mixed feelings about this. I feel like if you're a doctor, like, okay, this makes sense. I don't think I could handle just going to this, because the reason I'm in AV and not medicine, there's a reason for that.
Stuff like this.
Stuff like this. Yeah. I don't like me cutting open a person to fix what's inside of them. No, I can open up the back of a podium and fix on what's the inside of the podium. But this does not, like, I don't have that in my head to do this. So the fact that people paid money for this and that this woman donated her husband's body to science, this is not science. This is entertainment.
But do you know that, Tim? Maybe this was a bunch of doctors and up and coming doctors that watched this. He died of COVID, right? He died of COVID. And so how do we not know that this wasn't a bunch of doctors that wanted to know more research about COVID? Doctors that, I mean, it doesn't specify. It doesn't specify.
When a company is being called a promoter, they said the company was the promoter of an October 17th show.
And they're called Death Science.
Yeah.
I don't think that equates to medicine.
Death science. You don't know. I mean,
sorry, continue, Aaron. I jumped in.
No, that's fine. Like, but that to me is the biggest red flag that I had, is it just felt like they were charging money and tickets to an event. If it truly was a learning opportunity, they shouldn't be profiting from an event like this. If it's truly for educational purposes, that's my thoughts on this thing.
Wow. And we're on the HETMA, this talks a lot about what education can do for profit or not. Wow. That's a whole nother can of worms. Woo.
Well, I think they should be able to cover their costs for the thing, but it sounds to me like the body was donated, not
right.
There's a long history of creepy things like this. Okay.
Death Science is an educational company specializing in the promotion of in-person online courses, events, and seminars.
So I do wonder if it should, how on the back of your license it says you can use my body parts for whatever.
Mhm.
Maybe we should have a longer questionnaire somewhere that's like, you can use me to be dissected in front of willing spectators.
Yeah.
Like a whole list of things. Because I mean, there's people who wouldn't care because they're like, I'm dead. Who cares? Like my mom is really like, just let the doctors learn off of my body and whatever, but she wouldn't want to be blown up as part of testing military equipment or something. But like, maybe we should have a comprehensive list, and there's things people might opt in for. I mean, I bet there's people who like to be, they like the voyeurism, who'd be like, yeah, dissect me.
Well, I
Has
guess
anybody seen? There's a number of traveling.
David's like, oh God.
I'm
There's a number of
blushing, but
traveling
you're not
exhibits
wrong. You're not
out
wrong.
there that they basically inject human bodies with plastic molds and put them in
Yes,
a
I've seen
very
that.
artistic way.
It's so
Yes.
cool. It is so cool. And it is incredibly educational, I think.
Absolutely. But like, I remember they actually had an example of the contract that these people had to sign their life or their body to these organizations. And I thought it was really interesting. So I would consider that to be a little bit more educational, and it's done very beautifully, I think.
But we also
Yeah,
don't know what the
I think-
presentation, what the leader of the presentation of the dissection was. Was he educating medical students as he was dissecting and saying, okay, this is what COVID did to the kidney? Or like, do we know what the outcome was? Did anybody learn anything out of this situation?
Who knows? But
I mean, I'm
I
on
do
the-
think there's really like a broader conversation here. Like, if my body can be devoted to being a test dummy in a crash test simulation, and the dude was 98. He
Mm.
wasn't donating his retinas to anyone at that point in time, And given the cost of, quite frankly, dealing with funerals and burials and cremations and all of that stuff, maybe there's almost a way that it's like, we can financially make this easier for you if you allow your body to be used for whatever. We'll pay for the ceremony. I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of financial
Hey, Will,
something.
Will was about to chime in with something before. What was that, Will?
Oh, I was gonna say I'm on the fence with this. Like, on the one hand, I'm on the whatever, I'm dead, do what you want. If I'm like your background, Tim. If I'm donating my body to science, then I expect it to go to like a medical school. And maybe there's some cost there, maybe they're paying for whatever. But if you're charging people like ticket admission, well, screw it. I want that money to go to my survivors to, whatever. Like,
Well, you think those
I don't really
people
care
at
if they
medical schools were
charge, but
paying for those
that's up to
credit
them.
passes?
They do what they want, then okay, great. I can at least do
Mhm.
something for them. But yeah, it's a whole like permission, informed consent. If you think you're just donating, then yeah.
Well, I was going to say that I remember in Deep Space Nine, the Ferengi talked about after they died, they would cremate the body and sell little packages of ashes. So if you're talking about making money, Kim, if people need a little something to give to their children, they go, look, for you, I'll make the sacrifice to put my body on a stage and be cut up for people to watch.
This feels much bigger and a little post-apocalyptic. Tim, this is definitely one for the hashtag firing range.
Well,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So we'll have to
Also-
leave this. Well, and hold on before we close this up, David. You've been really taking this all in. What's your stand on
No.
this?
I mean, well, I've been afraid to talk because my theory on it is very dark. I mean,
Okay.
Woo!
Please,
Ooh.
we've already talked about
Yeah,
splattering on
do it.
pavements, and so
Yeah.
don't worry, we're
So-
gonna lighten it up
Okay.
with the next one. So
so first of all, I would not watch this. I would not pay to watch it. I'm not into that. But the thing is, as the resident millennial, which I will use in all my arguments today, people watch like pimple popping videos on TikTok. So I'm not surprised people are watching stuff like this. I mean, and when you consent, I mean, to be fair to them, I mean, they didn't understand that this was the application they were going to use it for, but they did consent, So, but that being said, I mean, there's other ways to make it, I guess, use your body better for science. One thing that was in my mind, which was why it was so dark, was like Soylent Green. This is just one step closer to something like that, which is a little scary, but who knows? Maybe that'll be on the consent form. Do you consent your body to be used for entertainment? Do you consent your body to be used as food substitute or whatever? Which
I
is
love
gross.
a good
but-
Charleston Heston cracker with a little
Yeah.
brie on top. It's so tasty.
It's made out of people.
with a nice Chianti.
All kinds of spoilers.
Like, you think that you give up your body for science, or you give up your body for, I think on my license, it's just like a organ donor, right?
Yeah, that's what mine is.
So when I had an ACL replacement, they said I could either take it from, I don't know, my thigh, or get an organ donor. And I was like, oh, I'll just do the organ donor. And I got this big letter about who donated it. And I sent a thank you letter to the family for donating their, and I'm thinking, I'm an organ donor, but at the end of the day, does that matter if it goes to a university? Does it matter if it goes to giving somebody my retinas and my ACL? Like, at the end of the day, you're giving your body up, right? Now, if it says death science is where it's going, be a little questionable. I'm wondering if they gave that widow any money. Did
I
they
would
give
hope
her any of the
so.
money?
It didn't look like it from the article. Which
Right.
is really the
Looked like
big
it to me
thing. It's like,
either, but that would have been the right thing to do, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
She needed a solid rev share agreement. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I would
let's,
like to advocate everybody become an organ donor, though, for
Yes.
for anybody that has an option, because it can save many lives.
Yes.
That's for sure.
So that, yes, here as we did with
100%.
the other article, please, if it's in your heart to be an organ donor, please do it.
Absolutely.
And yes.
I have an
So,
ACL from an organ donor. Proud to say.
I don't know if anybody wants my eyes, but my eyes are crap.
They don't want my
But
eyes.
any other part of my body, you are more than welcome to have.
Anyone want my
afterwards.
liver? Anyone?
Mine is going to
No.
science going, this is what you don't do.
Well, speaking of wanting eyes or other parts, I have to remove myself entirely. Thank you. It was great to see you. everybody.
Okay. All right. Bye,
Hey,
Murphy.
Murphy.
Bye.
So does that mean I need to make an organ donor of a teammate?
You gotta, I need to acquire, we need to make a trade. I need to acquire one of your,
Which of my
your
teammates is willing to be fully organ donated to Tim's team?
I can jump
Don't
over.
everyone, okay. All right, so hold on, let me fix
How
this
about we
now.
don't
Let me
let
move-
David back on? This
I'm
is-
sorry, Will. You're a millennial at heart, my friend.
All right, so it's me, Aaron, and Will now.
All
Okay.
right.
All right, there we go.
Oh, my
Okay.
God.
The
Me
last article, and we'll go back to the sides on this. Go ahead, Kim. Take it away about FisherPrice and Chatter.
I just love this article. This thing is so great. So CNET ran this article about the FisherPrice phone that anyone who is as old as I am had when they were kids. It had wheels on the bottom. It had these big googly eyes and a big, like red handset, and you could drag it around. So they have made a working phone. It's called the Chatter phone that connects to Bluetooth, and you can take mobile calls through this phone. And it looks just like the original Chatter phone we all had when we were little kids with the rotary dial. And apparently they are releasing it because we are quote unquote all broken inside. And we all need to re-embrace what, made us feel alive when we were children. So it is hard to get because I tried to buy one for this event, but I couldn't get one shipped to my house fast enough. So
No.
60
All right.
bucks, you can have one.
Just not right now.
So the question is this on your Christmas wish list or your holiday wish list? Or
I actually think the question is more like, are we all as a society craving a return to old technology somehow connected to new technology? Too complicated. All right.
no.
Cut that out. Pretend I never said that.
Tim loves editing.
Yeah, that's fine. No, we're good. We're going with it. We're doing it
No, we're
live.
going. We're rolling.
What was your argument going to be? Are we
Oh,
all
no,
broken
I-
inside?
Are we really all broken inside for? Do we really need this as in our life? Is this? Yeah. I think that's where we need to be. Yes or no? Is this? So,
Maybe in general, not specifically this, but do we need
do we need more happy things like that remind us of our childhood?
yes, we need those. Renee just
All
said,
right.
say yes. Yes.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Yes.
You
We
guys.
need them.
You got. Go ahead. I'm up for the challenge of that. So.
All
What
right.
other
Well,
product?
Renee, you were enthusiastic about the yes. So you
Okay.
start.
So here's the thing. So like I feel like the older I get, and now I've got grandkids and my kid is in his mid-20s, I keep talking about the things we used to do. And I'm like, I remember doing this. And my kid will never know a VCR tape. It's just things like that. So I think that if we are bringing something back and go, this was so cool. I played with something very similar. Now you're able to see, like, without the string. Like this toy didn't have the string, right? I would have added a string, the pull string, right? We had the pull string and the eyes did this. Well, that's the only part missing. But I think the more that we can, I just feel like the world has gotten so progressive and it's gotten so ahead of its time that if we were to have a little more of, come back to grandma's, where when you dialed, you did, if you had a little more of that, you'd be a little more appreciative than, I need an answer right now because here's my smartphone. And I just feel like even if, and they brought it up to date, right? They brought it up to date a little bit. So it's got some smart features. Why would we not? I mean, I'm like, I don't know. I'm just an old soul. So David probably and Will probably has way different opinions about this, but
Let's hear from our resident millennial.
Well,
Yeah,
what could this
sure.
hurt? I mean, what could it hurt, right? I mean, what could it hurt? It could bring families together, go, this is what I did. And this is, I mean, I don't know, bring it back. I mean, Tim has got a 6-year-old. Could you imagine sitting down with a 6-year-old right now and explaining how we played Pac-Man or Space Invaders on our Atari?
He loves Pac-Man, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, we had an Atari with a joystick that went, like this. And
so great.
I have a story about that. But continue.
Just saying, if we could bring, and you might even have one that it came back. I don't know. I'm just saying, I just feel like we've got so ahead of ourselves that we kind of forgot where we came from. And even though the technology is there, why not bring back a little piece of grandma or home or whatever? Sorry, I'm done talking. I've done more than
Are you trying to save grandma, Renee?
If you say grandma,
I'm
you
always trying to
automatically
say
win.
grandma, but it never works.
I don't know if we David, are you there with us?
I'm here.
Oh,
Okay, all right. You're frozen again, like video wise, but
we can hear you.
Okay.
But we can hear you. So
Okay. Well, I'll go next because Renee started strong. I feel like Kim is a good closer, so I'll round it out in the middle. Okay. As the resident millennial here, kind of piggybacking off of a little bit what Renee said, right? It's sometimes it's good to have that tradition and that culture and to pass it on to the younger generations, right? Perfect example. Today before the podcast, I went and saw the new Ghostbusters movie. Great movie, great franchise, awesome. And to pass that on to the younger generation, I mean that's just what our culture is built on, just passing them on and changing it up a little bit as the generations go on, but keeping that tradition. Like this Fisher-Price toy, I mean, these were around. I remember these as a kid, but this was even before my generation. And now we're passing it on to a generation younger than us who can use it in their everyday lives, and we're keeping it alive. And that's just human evolution, just how that's kind of evolved. And that's my argument. That's it.
okay. All right, Kim.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm going to bring things a little bit full circle because I think I have now culminated my theory on this entire evening. So when I was a kid, phones were designed to be phones where they were designed for you to sit on them in a way that was comfortable and have a conversation. Now phones are designed to be cameras and computers and Excel spreadsheets and PDF readers and NRC or whatever, like QR code readers and all of these things. Polaroids were designed to be cameras. Now our phones are designed to be cameras. So now we are taking all of this technology and trying to lump it into one piece of equipment. And it's kind of lost the beauty and the sophistication and the comfort level that we used to have when all of the things were just meant to do one things. So we've sacrificed the comfort and the sophistication and the ease of use for the multitasking technology. And so there is a little bit of me that's like, I want a handset attached to a phone that I dial with my fingers, because that's beautiful. I don't know if anybody else has this problem. My iPhone is like, I don't have like that face. My face is there. It's like puts on the speakerphone right in my ear. It's like dialing other people. I'm on a call. Nothing works 100% because we're trying to do 100% of things with one device. So there is a beauty in that old school technology, in that it was meant to do one thing. And so that's going to be my argument for why we should just remind people of when technology was meant to do the one thing it was supposed to do well, versus doing 100% of things in a mediocre way.
Damn.
Wow.
Sorry, was that?
And thank you. Now I have finger 11 in my head, because now, yes, I traded it all. If I gave it all away for one thing, for just that one thing. I know that's not what that's about, but that's my musical brain is there. All right. So I have my toys. My son has one of my original Michelangelo Ninja Turtles from when I was younger. Those toys are designed the way that they were back then. They didn't need upgrades. You know, like my son doesn't need a Bluetooth FisherPrice phone. I don't need a Bluetooth FisherPrice phone. It's the novelty. I would spend $60 on this thing. I'd use it for like a week, and then it would go sit on the shelf somewhere, collect dust. That's what, yeah. Sorry, Renee. Yeah, give me a big thumbs down, but that's what's going to end up happening. I'm going to buy this and I'm going to regret it later. This is like instant buyer's regret here. So what are you going to do next? And you know what? They have the banana phone too. And the video actually references the banana phone as well. I don't need the banana phone. I have everything I need right here. And I don't need one device. I mean, yes, I need one device for all my things, because now this is all I need to have with me ever. And I don't need that. Maybe I need my headset for not that I don't do this. Cause yes, Kim, I do the same thing. I lean up against this, and if the call ends before I move it away from my face, I hit a favorite, and I've called my boss on like half a dozen different occasions because he's in that spot where my cheek hits the phone. So, but let nostalgia be nostalgia. Let the toys exist when they were supposed to exist. And no, I might be broken, but this isn't going to fix me. So
going along with
Aaron,
Tim's comment is, so about 10 years ago, a buddy of mine that I used to do a lot of AV events with had a handset, like an old school phone handset that had a 2.5 millimeter TRRS connector, so that he could plug it into the headset jack on his cell phone, but hold a handset in his hand and walk around with it, basically with a cord going into his pocket. And it looked ridiculous. And it was just for novelty's sake. But again, I'm guessing he used it every once in a while, and then it sat on a shelf all the time. So he probably spent $20 for someone that jerry rigged this thing together online and thought it was just ridiculous. It was just, yeah, let the old stuff stay old stuff. And in the words of the great Barney Stinson, new is always better.
I love
Goliath
it.
National Bank.
Go ahead. Well, unless you had more, Aaron, it sounds like you wrapped that up. Though.
Good.
I think ending with Barney Stinson is a good finish there. So yeah, go ahead. Well,
We're not broken. What's broken is all the toys that we already have. How many old toys do we have just sitting on the shelf? And Etch a Sketch is just like a smart board. all I could ever do on the stupid thing was make a square. What does anybody use a smartboard for? To show a PowerPoint? Every projector can do that. I mean, Oculus Rift, that's a new thing, but it's just like a ViewMaster without the wheel. You play with it for 10 minutes and then you forget about it. Speak and Spells were just training us to use office phones. I mean, we've got all these people complaining that Zoom and computers are too hard to figure out. That's not too hard. You mastered a Simon. First thing I thought of was untangling like the monkeys in a barrel. Well, you come and tangle the box of wires I've got that I swear are going to be worth something someday. What we've got to figure out is, I mean, how are we going to make this work moving forward? What's next? Computer keyboards with just a wood inlay? We had that back in the day. That's going to be the next big thing. Have you seen what our college kids are wearing? I swear I had that stuff in high school and middle school. It didn't fit and it looked ugly then. Like, that's just the next thing. That's my argument.
That's amazing. You know what? We win that one. I'm calling that one.
Yeah,
We win.
and you're welcome for taking Will, because that was that
was a good close.
Fair,
Good close.
fair.
Thank you, Will. Good.
Tim, I really think we should continue these conversations on Twitter. I would love to hear what everyone thinks.
We'll over the course of like over the weekend, except for Sunday, I'm gonna step on Chris Neto except for Sunday. So tomorrow we'll send out one article as we're recording this. So you're actually not hearing. Oh, wait a minute.
We should do it after it airs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll when we release this on Monday, as you're hearing us on Tuesday, we'll release an article. Although Joe Way will probably be releasing his Higher Ed AV podcast, but make sure you listen to that. And then take 30 seconds and answer our firing range to keep the conversation going next week.
I think this toy one would be a real good one to have people weigh in on it, because I'd love to hear what everybody has to say about it.
We're gonna put all these out throughout the week, and we'll keep the conversation going. Wow. So yeah, this is cool. I'm excited.
Awesome.
I'm excited to do. We might actually only do 2 articles though next time. So I think if we go, because then we do. We really do
have
talk
people
a
on your
lot.
podcast that aren't talkers like us.
Yeah.
That'd be a very boring podcast if people didn't like to talk on a podcast.
The articles are good. You could do one. I mean, that last one, we could have discussed that for hours. That was.
Oh, we could have. Yeah.
Like it really took a turn.
Yeah, I think if we try, we'll try to find one that is like we get divided into teams, and then we'll find one that we could just like all gang up on.
I also like the idea of us all exposing how we really feel after, which we never get a chance to do. And I worry, like when I look for future jobs, that they're going to be like, well, we heard on the blah, blah, blah podcast that you felt yada, yada way. And I'm like, but they made me.
Yeah, I actually thought the thing was cool. I want one that's in a desk phone form. Toy phone. Like I just want that sitting on my desk in my office. Just
the 9-hour talk time was kind of like, okay, that's good for the day, but like I'd rather just not have to worry about charging it. So I agree with you.
I don't want to charge it.
Yeah. So all right. Well, we're really close. Actually, I think we went to almost an hour, but that's okay.
You can cut out some stuff.
No, we're cutting out nothing. It's all gold.
This is awesome.
Sorry, Kim. It's just what's gonna happen. So yeah, I want to thank to Will and Aaron for joining us, and David, thank you as well. It's always great to have you 3 here with us with the AV Live, and Aaron literally just he literally like made it to the last second there. Aaron, I will say, I know Aaron's been fighting technical difficulties all night, and he managed to get through the episode, so I will kudos to him for that. Will, thank you, sir.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
David, yes, definitely. David, thank you, sir, as well.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. Love it.
And Kim, great to have you back.
So happy to be here. Thank you.
So great.
This is so much fun tonight.
So great.
Yeah. My cheeks are hurting a little bit.
I had to put my mascara. I had to do all sorts of stuff tonight.
Renee, thank you as well. And thank you to Murphy. I know she had to drop out. But So next week, we'll be starting our bold predictions for 2022. So actually, no, excuse me, that's in 2 weeks. Next
Yeah.
week we're off.
Next
So
week is gobble
happy,
gobble day.
Yeah,
yes.
we are not
So
podcasting on a Thursday.
no, we are
night.
not podcasting on Thanksgiving night. I will be passed out full of turkey and stuffing and all that.
And football.
Yeah, actually, you know what good firing range would be is cranberry sauce. Chunky or smooth.
Or at
So-
all.
Canned.
Okay, all right. Well, let's.
Well,
Can it?
it hasn't started yet.
hot
You have to
topic.
cut that out now, Tim.
Save it. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We are
Gobble, gobble.
thankful. Gobble gobble. We are thankful to have you as listeners. I am thankful for my crew and for all of our guests, and thankful for this opportunity to talk to you. Oh, Renee.
Before we hang up, I think we should all end with. Just
Oh,
saying.
yes. All right. Before I sign off, we
at the same
have
time
just
or
finished.
separate?
Yes, we have done. We have
Okay.
we I will say the name of the segment, and then we do it right after that. So, all right. So, thank you for joining us on this pure firing range.
Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew.
And Aaron came back just in time for that. That was amazing, Aaron.
My
Oh,
timing's
he's gonna blame it
impeccable.
on the USB port.
No, this was, I'll be honest, Zoom completely crashed.
Oh, huh.
That happened to me earlier too, though.
Okay.
Are you on as a guest
Okay.
or sorry?
So whatever.
Yeah, sorry. Time out on that. We'll pick that up after we close out. So thank you for listening in, and until our next adventure.